All right, I am live. I am very sorry, guys, that we're postponing wrestling video games and retro adventures tonight. We were going to talk about WrestleMania 4.
Guys, that we're postponing
I'm going to turn the sound off
wrestling
on
video
this.
games and retro adventures tonight. We were going to talk about WrestleMania 4.
Guys,
that we're postponing
I'm going to turn the sound off
wrestling
on
video
this.
games and retro.
There, that's better. Okay, get rid of that echo. Yeah, very sorry. We're going to have to postpone tonight. Had some personal things come up. We just couldn't get together tonight to do the show. But just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking to do. Of course, there's all kinds of different streams and stuff about. We thought originally about maybe doing something to do with the Amico, but that's being done. And we thought about having just a general chat where everybody just sort of gets together and shoots the breeze. But that's being done. Everybody can do that tomorrow night on Go Gabago channel. I'm still going to call it Go Gabago. And, of course, Pete's got the AAA. We're going to be much more casual than that, let me tell you. But what we decided upon is Jeff and I talked, and we both really love old-time wrestling. So we're going to sort of combine the whole mishmash of a few different things. We're going to talk about not only old-time wrestling, but video games. Not just wrestling video games either, but old-style video games, whatever we get into. We're also the retro adventures part. We even talked about stuff like talking about old roadside attractions, places we visited when we were kids, theme parks. We both of us have this love for these things. I love remembering the places that I was when I was a kid. He has the same thing, and of course, we're from different parts of the country, so we've seen different things over time. And of course, all you guys are from all over the place too. And the whole point of this was to hear stories from you guys as well. Just basically throw it all together and have a talk about it. So I'm not going to stick around real long tonight. Is there anybody still in there? How many people we got watching? I can't even tell. Let's see. I can figure this out somehow. So Casper, Dave, and Lance. Lance is still there. And so that's going to be the plan when we get her up and running. It's going to be fun. But just unfortunately, it's not going to happen tonight. I'm thinking right now, next Tuesday night, same time, same place. Hey, Lance. Yeah, I don't know what's the delay. Did you catch any of what I just said? This is so hard, like with not getting feedback. I'm not used to being on here all by myself doing. I did that once, and it just sort of gets confusing for me, to tell you the truth. I enjoy having somebody on here to talk with. It's so much more fun that way. Jeff's not here. Jeff's not going to be here tonight, so we are going to postpone until Jeff till next time. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. If you like the idea of delayed, that's about it. Yeah, Pete, it's delayed tonight. Aren't able to both get together tonight. Some things popped up which were just unavoidable. So we will hopefully be back next week to do it. And just let me know put the comments down below or type into the chat here what you think about the format we're looking at. We're going to talk about, this time I picked WrestleMania 4, and we're still going to go with WrestleMania 4 next time because it's just a real interesting pay-per-view. And what brought it to my attention and brought it to mind this time was that they blew up the Trump Tower or the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino just last week. So it was really kind of cool. WrestleMania 4, Pete, no Piper in that one. He didn't make that one. That was right after he retired. I don't know if he was in 5 and he was in 3, but he didn't appear at all in 4. He was off. But just a little tidbit there. So right on, Lance. Hey, we are going to get together and do an interview sometime because, truth be known, this is going to be the plan for this show is to do it every other week, and then I'm going to try to do an interview with somebody in between. So I've lined up somebody for next week already. That being said, I'm expecting to push the interview back a week, and hopefully we have the first episode of Wrestling Video Games and Retro Adventures next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Atlantic. 9 o'clock Public Pete time. There's nobody else here, right? Hold it. Casper Dave, are you still there? Are you in Atlantic time? If you're in Atlantic time, then it's just you and me. Everybody else has no idea what I'm talking about. Most people don't even know this time zone exists. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Pete's out west. He's 5 o'clock his time. There you go. Left the film. They live Man, that's absolutely true, right? That was when he was gone for that, but he was back for 5. It seems to me all he did in 5 was that the Morton Downey Jr. show or something that he did in 5. That was a pretty friggin' sad. That was a sad skit, really. But anyway, yeah. Sorry to bail on you guys, but that's it. We will see you guys all next week, hopefully, and watch the site for. I'll put the banner back up. I'll create the event, and we'll see if it goes. So don't forget, though, as of right now, okay, and I'm very, very sure Gogamego tomorrow night will be on. I was just talking with Stu a few minutes ago, so Dan O'Day of the Rebel Gaming Club is going to be on Go Game Go tomorrow night. 9 o'clock Atlantic, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Central. Oh my God, you get tired doing that way. Why do we always ignore Mountain Time? I don't understand that. Nobody pays attention to Mountain Time. Anyway, that is still a go for tomorrow night. As of right now, barring any unforeseen happenings, I don't see it getting canceled because, like I said, I just got done talking with Stu, and worst case scenario is, and I think I was going to be on some anyway. Well, I might be on a little bit more, but anyway, Stu and I have that one under hand, and Stu is also getting ready. Don't forget on for Hammer Time Thursday night with Tommy Tallarico. So that's on the Go Game Go channel as well. That'll be really interesting to watch Thursday night. So anyway, Casper Dave, I see you on here once in a while. I really want to thank you for tuning in. You saw the Cuban Assassin. I don't know if anybody else knows who the Cuban Assassin is, because if you're not from Atlantic Canada, and if you're not from Calgary Stampede Wrestling, you may not recognize the Cuban Assassin. But of course, he's one of my all-time favorites. He's one of the most famous wrestlers ever to come out of this area. And yeah, he's awesome. He's simply awesome. And I shared on my Facebook page this weekend, I shared the movie Wrestle Massacre. It's on Tubi, so it's free. I watched it for the first time on Friday, and the star of that movie is Richie Acevedo, which is the Cuban Assassin 2, who toured the Atlantic provinces and different areas, and he's from West Virginia. He wrestled around the indie circuit on the Eastern Seaboard, well, all over really, and he is Angel Acevedo's, the Cuban Assassin's son. So you never know. Someday, if we can get this show going, Jeff and I have been talking that we may even hit up some of these old time wrestlers to come on the show and just shoot the shit with us and field questions from the chat. And man, it'll be a lot of fun. This down the road a little bit, but I think it's pretty doable because I love old time wrestling. I really don't watch it much anymore, but I loved it back in the day. Like WrestleMania 4 was right when I was right into it, the cartoonish style of it at that time. Let's see what else get in there. Anybody else have any questions or anything for me? Piper left the film they live. Everyone name their favorite match next time. Yeah, so when we put something up, like let's say, I don't know if we're always going to do it by pay-per-view, or maybe we'll do it by promotion. I had somebody on Facebook hit me up and said that we should talk about the AWA. Do any of you guys have any good knowledge about the AWA? I do. I have watched quite a bit of it over several years ago now, but I used to watch quite a bit of wrestling. Used to pick up AWA on TSN and different cable channels, and it was Vern Gagne's promotion out of the Minnesota area. It's just phenomenal how many fantastic wrestlers have come out of Minnesota. Incredible, actually. I mean, the Gagnes, seems to be Hulk Hogan wrestled there when he started. Yes, he did. Scott Hall was up there. I'm not sure if Ric Flair isn't originally from Minnesota. I don't know. There's a ton from Minnesota, and I'll do a little bit of studying on the AWA before we did that. But things like that, things like Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, because I know quite a bit about Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, but I mean, I'm not the expert. Maybe I could bring one of the experts onto the show with me, because I know a guy who lives in PEI who's right into it. He had a podcast for a while that used to be on Saturday nights. And I can remember it was the summertime when he did, I don't know how many weeks he did it, but it was summertime. And usually Saturday night, you'd work around the yard all day, and I'd haul the fire out, go sit around the fire and listen to his podcast. He often had old stars from the Atlantic Grand Prix on there, and the one that was on there the most was No Class Bobby Bass. And do you remember No Class Bobby Bass, Caper Dave? What am I saying? Casper Dave? It's Caper Dave. Of course you're from friggin' Atlantic Canada, for Pete's sakes. Well, I just clued into that right now. Mr. McCluck. No Class Bobby Bass. Yeah, Mr. McCluck. Mr. McCullough. Yeah, friggin' Oh my God, drawing a blank here. The stupid, just trying to ramble on. Sitting here looking at him. Mr. McCullough, I am going to take them. And the German guy with the monocle. It's, oh my God. Caper Dave, help me out here. You know who it is. Ric Flair, Rick Rude, and Ricky Steamboat trained under Vern Gagne. Absolutely. AWA was huge. Lance, you got check out the Titans of Wrestling podcast. Okay, yeah, right on. WWF history during Bob Backlund and Bruno Sammartino years. And that is when I started watching wrestling, when it was the WWF. It was the New England, New York territory under Vince McMahon Sr., Vincent J. McMahon, was it? Anyway, Vince McMahon now, his father. And they used to come as far north as Bangor, Maine. And I can remember going there when my sister lived in Bangor. And I can remember going to the matches with my sister and my mother once when I was about, I was 8 or 9 years old probably, and seeing like Jay Strongbow and Ox Baker, Dino Bravo, first run through, Tony Guerrera, guys you used to see coming out from the back. They were managers in the back. What do they call it? Again, drawing a blank, but they were the guys who were like Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe and stuff. Tony Guerrero was one of them as well, in the back area, sort of helping out with everything. And it was really cool because I've always remember going to that. And a few years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I found a website that listed all kinds of different events and cards. And I found the listing of the card that we went to. And do you think I can still find that now? I wish I had saved it somehow. I didn't. But anyway, Sterling Golden in Florida. There you go. Yeah, I remember hearing that before too. But before he came to the WWF for Vincent, he came in as a bad guy with Freddie Blassie as his manager. He was in AWA because I've seen quite a few matches of him in AWA. Yeah, pretty friggin' cool. Caper Dave, we hope to see you here again. Killer Carl Croup. Oh my God, yeah, that's the name I was trying to think of. Why? Like, I know that name, but it escaped me for a minute. Killer Carl Croup was friggin' awesome. Him battling Big Steven Pettipaw, and I can still remember them coming to the fights. So it used to be Monday nights in the summer here in little old St. Stephen at the Border Arena. And the worst thing you could do was get too close to the action when they get out of the ring and over by the boards, because they start throwing each other against the boards. And when you're looking up from down above, you could see that their heads were only going about this far from the boards, and they were kicking the boards to make the thumping noise. So it used to take the mystique out of it a little bit. But, it was still a hell of a lot of fun. People used to get so worked up. And that's what wrestling's all about. I love that down earth, not backyard wrestling, because that's another animal altogether. But the old small territory wrestling is just phenomenal. Yeah, Stompin' Paul Peller and the Beast. I don't know if you noticed, Caper Dave, on one of my pickup videos, the Pickaroons actually makes a brew. It's a limited run that they've done a couple times now, and it's called the Beast. Unfortunately, it's not my favorite beer in the world, but in one of my pickup videos, I always drink a beer, if you haven't seen them, and try out a different type of beer. And I did the one on the Beast. I talked a little bit about Atlantic Grand Prix wrestling in that video as I had the beer. Of course, the Cormier brothers, the four of them that were in the Atlantic Grand Prix: Leo Burke, Rudy K, the Beast, and the last one is, Rudy K, Bobby K. And them being from Dorchester, New Brunswick, all Cormiers, but going by their ring names. So Leo Burke was probably the best one of the bunch, but the Beast probably was the most famous. And man, it was awesome. Of course, back that time, Randy Macho Man Savage and Lanny Poffo wrestling here in New Brunswick through Atlantic Grand Prix here in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia PEI, all through, live at the Berwick Arena on Tuesday night. You'll see Stompin' Paul Peller take on Goldie Macho Man Rogers and Randy Macho Man Savage fighting Leaping Lanny. Anyway, Leo did go on. Leo was really big. Leo Burke was really big with Calgary Stampede, as were a lot of them. Seems to be a lot of the guys that wrestled seasonally summers here ended up going out to Calgary to wrestle for Stu Hart, including the Cuban Assassin, who was really pretty big out in Calgary as well. I still remember probably in the 80s, Atlantic Grand Prix was starting to fade a little bit because the WWF was taking over, but Calgary Stampede still had a pretty big following. And for those of you from the States, our national sports network is called TSN. It's actually owned by the same company that owns ESPN now, so a lot of the symbols are the same. But at the time, it was an upstart, independent, national Canadian sports network. And one of the things they showed was Calgary Stampede Wrestling. So it sort of freaked me out the first couple of times I saw Calgary Stampede Wrestling in my life. I didn't know who the Hearts were at that time. No idea. And here he is. Oh my God, it's the Cuban Assassin. What's he doing out there? He was awesome. Man, he lives there now, actually. He's about 73, 74, and lives in Calgary. Yeah, retired and living there. His son lives in West Virginia. And again, I gotta have him on here on this show someday. We're gonna do it. Anyway, guys, it's quarter after. I didn't plan on coming on here at all, and I've come on here and rambled on for 15 minutes. And thanks a lot for the chat for those of you who showed up. So I do promise you, we'll be starting our show as soon as we can. We'll plan on next Tuesday night, wrestling, video games, and retro adventures. We're going to talk a lot about wrestling. Not too many doing that right now. I mean, just casual. And we're really looking forward to you guys coming back into the chat to talk about different things, like Stu Hart and the Dreaded Dungeon. Yeah, friggin' right. That's infamous. I've seen so many shows about that. Everybody knows about the dungeon. It's too bad that that's gone, eh? Like, as I can remember when they sold Stu Hart, Helen Hart died in the late 90s, and it was just kind of sad when they all ended up getting rid of the entire Hart house, and there's no more dungeon. The stories, if you haven't read the books, there's so many great books out about that. Bret Hart's book's fabulous. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I've read it. I got it in the other room. Fantastic book. Talks a lot about the dungeon and stuff like that. Then you look at the wrestlers that have come through that dungeon. I can't even name. I'll name the obvious ones. I mean, the Harts, Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid, obviously, because they were married to sisters. Well, Dynamite wasn't, was he? No, just Davey Boy was. And but Dynamite was just there always. But guys like Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, famous Canadian wrestlers. My God, in the early 2000s, the dominance of the Canadian wrestlers around the WWF and the end of the WCW was really kind of amazing when you think about the size of the country, about a tenth the size of the States, and about a quarter of the top name wrestlers were Canadian at that time when you think of guys like Test and Trish Stratus and just various other ones. But anyway, that's just something, little Canadian pride there, you know. And Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling was this is a little rinky-dinky area, but it was a promotion that I think that a lot of the big names used to like to come to back when territories were a thing, because, well, you know, it's sort of a nice place in the summertime. So we only ran in the summer. And I do know that my father-in-law now grew up in Moncton. It's from Moncton, always lived there. And he said it was nothing for them to go to the bars. And he said, he remember he's about 5'6", and he said he was standing at the bar one time and turned around, was looking right at the hip, and looked straight up like this, and it was Andre the Giant standing beside him at the friggin' bar in Moncton, New Brunswick. So, you know, it's like these guys were always running through here doing tours and stuff. So anyway, yeah, Edge is even main eventing WrestleMania this year. That's an amazing story. Adam Copeland, he's awesome. Really inspirational. I don't know. I think he's a great guy because he doesn't have a body that would make you think, oh, this guy's a wrestler. Like you watch WrestleMania 4. When we get into WrestleMania 4, it's very, very much the physique. And now you have, I do love Edge because Edge started 20 some years ago now. Edge has done it because of just his capabilities, his athleticism, his determination, and his charisma. It's his charisma more than anything. Hey, HDK 360. Hey, man. Good to see you, Pete. Thanks for stopping in. I come on here for 2 seconds to explain how come we're going to postpone the premiere, and I've ended up rambling on about wrestling for 20 minutes. So what would we do if it was Jeff and I both here? I don't know. But anyway, guys, I am going to sign off. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll have a thumbnail posted as soon as I know that it's going to be a go for next week. But right now I'm planning for next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Papa Pete and Caper Dave time. And we'll have episode 1 of Wrestling, Video Games, and Retro Adventures. And we're going to look at WrestleMania 4. We got it already. It's an interesting show. They just tore down the venue. Sort of. I'll explain that next week if you don't know. And it'll be a great show, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Right on, guys. Thank you so much. We'll take care.